Today I fucked up by hospitalizing my 9Y, oh brother. Typing this out from the waiting room. I feel so guilty and my mum won't even look me in the eye. Today, my 17M brother, 9M, wanted to play on my Xbox in my room, which I, reluctantly, said yes to. But since we moved in last week, my room, which is small anyway, is still mostly full of boxes, so there really isn't much room to move at all. He was sitting on the floor playing Minecraft and I was sat on my bed doing a Superman puzzle when my mum called me into the kitchen to help her reach something. This is when I fucked up. So, as I said, there isn't much space in my room, especially at the end of my bed where the TV is right next to my door, and as I tried to squeeze past to leave to go to my mum in the kitchen, I accidentally bumped into the TV stand and the worst thing possible happened: the TV fell onto my brother. He started screaming and everything up until now was one big blur. My mum came running in, shouting, asking what happened, and calling for my dad, while I just stood there, watching it all happen from outside my room. It was like I was frozen. My mum screamed at my dad to phone an ambulance, but I couldn't see my brother, so I took a step forward and saw that his head was bleeding, and at this point I was really panicking. My dad told me to go downstairs and let anyone who knocks on the door inside, so I did. I waited by the door, and a few minutes later, paramedics knocked on the door, so I let them in. My mum went in the ambulance with him, while my dad and I followed in a car. We got there about 15 minutes after my mum did, and I heard her tell my dad that my brother will be okay. But she still refuses to speak to me, even after I asked her what's going on with my brother, and I haven't heard anything from a doctor yet, and it's been about half an hour now. Sorry if this is difficult to read, I just feel so guilty and anxious for hurting my brother. Too long did not read. My brother was playing games in my room and I accidentally dropped a TV on his head, putting him in hospital. Update 1. My dad and I are home now. My brother's going to be fine, but possibly staying overnight at hospital just to be safe, and my mum's going to stay with him. My dad has told me my mum's not angry, she was just scared for my brother, and I've spoken to her on the phone. It's all good. I've tidied up my room and moved the TV so it's safe now, and I bought some snacks for him when he gets back. Thanks everyone for the kind words. I will update when he's home again. Update 2. He's home. My brother is going to be absolutely fine. I gave him some of the snacks and loads of hugs. He's doing great. Here are some details I've seen people ask about in the comments. Yes, the TV still works, miraculously, as it landed on carpet. The TV was just a small flat screen. I don't know the right terminology for it, but it's really tiny as I don't have the space for a bigger one. The reason my brother's head was bleeding was because the plastic in the corner of the TV is what hit his head, which I think scraped his head, leaving a small cut. Seeing blood, even a small amount, made everyone panic, which is why he went to hospital and my mum gave me the silent treatment. It was scary. TBH, him screaming was a good sign. Silence is worse. Accidents happen. Complete and total accident. I know you're feeling terrible, and your mom is just processing everything, but this could have been a lot worse. You did nothing wrong, op. It was an accident. Clean your room, and take whatever steps you need to take so that this doesn't happen again. Do something extra nice for your brother and don't beat yourself up too much mentally. Your mom is just upset. Me and my little brother were playing tag when we were 9 and 7, I pushed him a little hard and we went to the hospital and he had to get like 12 stitches in his mouth. I'm pretty sure my mom yelled at me and disciplined me, but he was thankfully fine other than his mouth hurting a bit. What I'm trying to say is, you make mistakes, accidents happen. You shouldn't feel guilty about it, there was no malicious intent. Today I fucked up by taking a 3-day vacation. Only to be dumped by my fiance. Long story short, told her I just needed a few days to sleep better. Our apartment has a cat, her 2 small children 4 and 8, which makes it hard to sleep. I anticipated her being very upset by this, as she is very clingy, probably to an unhealthy degree. She proceeds to lose her mind, which has made no sense to anyone I've told this to. I had no intention of breaking up with her, which is what I led with. She threatens me with an ultimatum, that she'll break up with me if I leave at all, which I laugh off as insane, which it was. So I went to visit my parents to do so, and she literally blocked me on all platforms, as soon as I got to the airport. After a 4-hour phone conversation, we reconciled. Then today she pulls the same thing again out of nowhere, when I was supposed to fly back in 3-4 hours. The worst part? There were no warning signs before any of this. I am completely crushed. All because I just wanted to get some sleep. Too long did not read. Just wanted to sleep, dumped by fiance. Edit. Wow. Did not expect this to blow up. My CNS is still shot from this, so I only slept a few hours, and woke up to this. Obviously I can't get back to everyone, but here are some more relevant details. I love the kids, but they are super out of control. I have never taken any break from this woman, in the 10 months we've been dating, at least of more than 24 hours or less. She has taken a few breaks. I do 50% of the domestic work, and treat the kids like they are my own. I have a hard time sleeping because the cat is almost nocturnal, and wakes us up every 2–3 hours. I can't fall back asleep easily, she can. She sleeps 8–9 hours a night, I've been averaging 4–5 hours recently. The kids come in at 6 a.m. every day and wake us up, no matter what. To some saying she has BPD or abandonment issues, I don't think you are far off. I actually think bipolar too, lately. I have always supported her through any issues, and only led with, "I'm not breaking up with you," because she is so sensitive to anything being wrong. I would have stayed at a hotel, but I haven't seen my parents much in the last 10 months, so I thought, 2 birds, 1 stone. It has been 24 hours since we've spoken directly, only a little through a friend. I do expect her to reach out more, and like most have said, try to get back together. I imagine it will be a little while, and that it will probably come when this really sets in, that I'm not there. Anyway, this has been valuable feedback, thanks. I saw your other post. You've been with this chick a whole 5 minutes. Move on. You had to pay for an airplane flight and go to your parents' house just to get some sleep? This woman breaking up with you. Sounds like you are dodging a bullet here and this is your opportunity to reboot your life. So her telling you she'd dump you if you went wasn't a sign? Well, the cat and 2 children will still be there after you got married, so were you planning on flying to your parents weekly for some sleep? Today I fucked up by taking the recycling out. Trigger warning. Blood, injury, throwing up. So, mandatory. This happened last Wednesday night. Me and my partner are not good at basic adult stuff like taking the recycling out every week. This week, after looking at the many bags, we decided we had to take all of it out and start adulting better. Feeling motivated, I decided I would start while he was finishing preparing dinner. We live on the 2nd floor of an apartment building. I took 2 bags and headed out. Once you exit the building you have to go down a final set of stairs before reaching the sidewalk. That's when this crazy story started. I'm clumsy, so I just fell down these stairs and landed on one of the 2 recycling bags. First thing, I hear glass breaking in the bag. Second thing, I feel something wet on my wrist. I look down, and I am pouring blood out of what seemed to be a very deep cut on my wrist. I immediately think, oh no, I cut my artery. I will die. If I stay here, I will die. The adrenaline kicks it. I run up the stairs, enter the building, run up the 2nd set of stairs. All the while, blood is flooding everywhere. I kick the door of our apartment open and I yell, "Partner, call 911 inches" over and over again. Understandably, the partner runs toward me very confused. Sees the blood on me, on the walls around me, on the floor, sees that I am holding my wrist very tight. Freaks out and starts calling 911. I have never been in such a state of panic. I will die. I say out loud that I don't want to die. We sit on the floor while he is talking with the 911 person. I don't remember what they were talking about. At some point, partner has to stop to throw up. He is not scared of blood, but he told me afterward that he was truly terrified that I was going to die, and that amount of blood was something he hadn't seen before in his life. I start fainting. I can't keep my eyes open. I feel nauseous. I hear partner telling me to open my eyes and answer him, but I can't move, open my eyes or open my mouth. Suddenly I start throwing up and that wakes me up. It's around that time that 4 giant firemen arrive and start taking care of me. It seemed like I missed the artery, but my wrist was still really fucked up, so I had to go to the hospital to get stitches. The rest of the story isn't as interesting. We spent 12 hours waiting to see a doctor and we came back home exhausted and traumatized. I have the most disgusting cut and stitches on my wrist, and I will have a cool scar to remind me of my failure to take some recycling bags outside. And I won't be allowed to help with that task anymore. So, yay? Too long did not read. I took the recycling bags out, fell on one of them that had glass in it outside, and proceeded to deeply cut my wrist, bleed everywhere, convince myself and my partner I was going to die, made both of us throw up, spend 12 hours in the and now I am not allowed to take the recycling bags out ever again. Damn. Got my heart racing a bit from the description. Glad you're okay. This is a legit TIFU. Glad you're okay op. Stairs are a killer. Good story for anyone who can't be bothered to use a railing. It exists for your safety. The good news about sharp cuts is that the blade is thinner and far less likely to stab something important. A dull blade will cleave through any artery. I don't think the lesson to be learned is not to do the recycling. Someone still has to do it, and clearly way more often than you are. Don't lug huge bags around. Get a plastic bin with a lid that can snap on and prevent this. If you let the problem continue, this could also happen to your partner. Putting glass inside a material it can slash through is a recipe for disaster. Today I fucked up by accidentally throwing away my phone. Obligatory. This actually happened yesterday. I, 16F, was having lunch yesterday at my table and somehow the topic of my book bag came in the conversation. As I removed and flaunted about all the stuff I carried around school, I noticed there was some dirt in the bag, so of course, I went to the trash can, did a little shake of the bag while carrying it upside down. While doing so, I heard a little thump in the trash can, so I did a quick glance, didn't think I saw anything unusual and I carried on with my day. Now, it's about an hour since lunch ended and I'm walking home from school. I remembered that I should probably remind my mom that I have work today, and instinctively, I went to retrieve my phone from my bag. To elaborate, my bag has a pouch that's almost like a pocket of which I place my phone and other miscellaneous items in there. So when I'm trying to reach for it, I realize my phone isn't there. I check inside the bag. No luck. Maybe it's stuck in between one of my folders. No luck. At this moment, I'm starting to panic and racing back to the school to look for my phone. During this, all the possible situations fly through my head. At first, I thought someone stole it. Then thinking about it a bit longer, it didn't make much sense. Then I thought that I might have left it on the cafeteria floor and that was precisely the moment it hit me. The trash can, the upside-down book bag, and the thump. Now I'm panicking even more. When I get back to the school, I explain my predicament and of course, it seems like no one would help me. Most likely all the trash bags were already taken from the cafeteria and put out into the dumpster where they cannot allow students to search due to it being a safety hazard. Later, when my mom came along with me to see if anything could be done, one of the VPs explained that the custodians could try to look for it and I could check back tomorrow. But it sounds like school lingo for, yeah, you ain't never getting that phone back. Now my mom's mad at me for being the careless person I am. I lost a way of communication between my parents and friends. I lost all the things that I kept on there, including my work schedule. I cannot sign into my email because of Google's two-step verification that is mainly accessed on my phone. And now I'm a dejected mess who's really trying to smile and make a joke out of it all, but I can't. Too long did not read. Accidentally threw away my phone and it's now in a dumpster which I can't even search since it's a safety hazard. Update. Today is Saturday, which would mark about 2 days since that infamous day. My mother and I decided to go to the school's dumpster with some gloves and a mask to search through the trash, making about halfway through the dumpster before ultimately giving up. We tried calling my phone multiple times, but we weren't able to hear a thing, which I think was really the thing that we stopped our search so early. And no, we didn't dumpster dive. It was about 9 to 10 a.m. and I overestimated how many people would be present. Turns out people have practice and games on Saturdays. Wow, what a revelation. I don't think I even have the guts to go dumpster dive either way. So, we simply bought a new phone, just about 2 weeks short of my now old phone's 1-year anniversary. I just have to pay the money back later. Also, to my surprise, I was able to retrieve everything from my old phone, which was honestly my biggest concern. In the end, thank you all for the advice and the hilarious anecdotes that really made me feel better about myself. Even with all the toxicity that exists on this site, it's because of you guys that make this all worth it. I threw away my glasses once. Also threw away my expensive dental retainer after eating lunch one day in high school. It happens. Once I washed my cell phone by accident. Yep, I grabbed the blanket off my bed that I forgot my cell phone was on, and threw it into the washing machine. Couldn't find my phone until I pulled the laundry out to put in the dryer, and my phone fell out. Ruined. Did someone try dialing the cell phone's number to see if a ringing noise comes from the dumpster? At least then you'd know if it was really in there or not. The fact that you, a 16F, went an entire hour at school without noticing your phone was gone is impressive. One of the low points of my eating disorder was when they were giving away jelly donuts at my school. I took my usual bite and then threw the rest away. Except my phone was also in my hand. I had to go through the trash can to dig out my jelly-covered phone and clean it.